Welcome everyone back to our TDsportspress podcast. Really glad to have everyone here on this Tuesday night. We are getting ready for week 7. We will have our show outline tonight. We're going to start out with our picks, our own TDsportspress poll. If you're on our TikTok, you have already seen our poll, but if you're on our YouTube, it's right here for you. And if you're listening on Spotify, go check us out on TikTok or YouTube to see what our poll looks like. But we're going to start out with our poll, and then we are going to go into South Florida, in North Texas. We'll go into Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, Colorado. We'll also be going into Ohio State and Illinois. So we got a great slate for you. Auburn, Missouri. We got a great slate for you. Stay tuned. We're going to have a great Tuesday night. And like I said, guys, if you guys love this content, go ahead and leave a follow, follow us on TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. We're trying to get to 10 new followers by Sunday. That'd be awesome if we could hit that. We were at 5 subs before we went on live here. So we are 5 away. If you guys can help us, that'd be awesome. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's kick this show off right. So let's pull up the top 25 here. So my top 25 right here. Appreciate the graphic person that put this together for me. He does this for me, so this is awesome. So at number 1 in the country, I feel like there's no argument right now. It's got to be Miami. I have Miami at number 1. Actually, let's go the other way. I don't want to talk about that. Number 25, I have Utah. I think Utah is a big game against Arizona State. I think they deserve to be where they are. And yeah, we'll see they do have that loss to Texas Tech. They did kind of, get throttled a little bit, but we're going to see what Utah does at home against Arizona State, who we're going to be talking about later in here. Number 24, we have Cincinnati. A lot of people do not like this Cincinnati pick. They think Nebraska should be in here. I don't think so. Cincinnati picked up a huge win against Iowa State. Their offense is incredible. And I'm excited to see what they can go with here. Number 23, we have Illinois. Illinois is a really good football team as well. They have a tough week against Ohio State. Illinois, last time we saw them, they beat Purdue. It wasn't the result that probably as much as it should be, in my opinion, but they still won, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. At number 23, we have USF coming back into our rankings. We didn't have them ranked for a while. They are back with a win against Florida, and they have a win against Boise State as well. So we got them at 22. Huge week for them. We'll be talking about their game a little bit later. Number 21, we have Memphis, who is still undefeated in the AAC. The AAC conference is probably the best group of 5 conference there is right now. I don't think you can really dispute that. And part of the reason is because of those 2 teams we were talking about, and North Texas. We'll be talking about them later. Number 20, we have Arizona State. So we're going to have a ranked battle between Arizona State and Utah, 20 and 25. That game's going to be awesome. It's going to be stormy. It's going to be cold. We'll talk about that game more later, but I'm excited about that game. Number 19, making its debut in the TD Sports Press poll, we have number 19, Virginia. Virginia has been on here. They just beat Florida State, who was ranked number 8 at the time. They've beat Louisville, who I had at number 25. They're making their appearance at number 19. And we're going to see how far they go. They got a very manageable schedule. We could see them in the college football playoff. I would not be surprised as well, especially, or maybe in the ACC championship as well. So we'll see what Virginia can do the rest of the way, but it's looking really good for Virginia right now. So moving on. I'm going to pull some of my hair. Number 18, we have BYU. BYU has an interesting game against Arizona. We'll be talking about that game on Thursday. And they play Utah next week, so it's kind of a look-ahead spot for BYU. I don't think it's going to be. Arizona's a good football team, so you're not going to have to worry about that. So at number 17, we have Notre Dame. We've been getting mixed reaction with Notre Dame. Some people think they should be higher. Some people think they should be lower. I think 17 is a good spot for them. They do have those 2 losses, but we'll talk about who those 2 losses are as we get up in the poll. Number 16, we have Vanderbilt coming off that loss to Alabama. If you watched the first quarter, I thought Vanderbilt would win that game. They were doing everything they did the year before, and they just could not pull it off. So we still got Vanderbilt at 16. They moved down 3 or 4 spots for us, but Alabama, we'll be talking about them later. Number 15, we have Michigan. They beat Wisconsin, 24-10. Nothing to write home to mom about. That was just the most Michigan way to win that game. They just won in the trenches, and they got an interesting game against USC. We'll be talking about that later tonight. That's going to be a fun game. At number 14, we have Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they just got to keep winning. Undefeated. Good team in the ACC. They have everything in front of them. So excited about them. Number 13, LSU. They play South Carolina this week. That will be an interesting game. Two programs that are just trying to get their foot, foot in the right direction here. Both teams we thought that were going to be higher, I would say, but we'll see. Measuring stone. At number 12, our biggest mover in the poll, Missouri. I think Missouri, we have them at number 12. I think that's a good spot for Missouri. Huge game with Alabama at home. I'm excited to see what that Missouri, and they might have a Heisman, candidate in the backfield. Their running back is incredible. We'll be talking about that later. But number 11, we have Tennessee. Tennessee stays at number 11 for us. I think that's a good spot. They stayed idle for us. Number 10, we have Georgia. Georgia's got a game with Auburn. That will be a very interesting game. Number 9, we have Indiana. And some people have them at 8. I got them at 9 right now. They're going to number 3, Oregon. And we'll be talking about that game on Thursday. Going to be a really good football game. Number 8, we got Texas Tech. They're the best team in the Big 12 right now, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. So I don't think there's a lot of a hot take on that one. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Number 7, we have Alabama. One of the hottest teams in the nation. Ty Simpson, if his name was Ty Manning right now, I saw that Joe Klatt, I'm not claiming that to be mine, Joe Klatt said this. If his name was Ty Manning, he would probably be, win the Heisman in a runaway. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. If Arch Manning had Ty Simpson's stats right now, everyone would be talking about how great Arch Manning is, but that's not the case. But I really do like Joe Klatt, not claiming that was who I did. Like I said, I'm not claiming that I said it. Joe Klatt said it. Number 6, we got Texas Tech, or excuse me, not Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Marcel Reed's a good quarterback, and they just keep winning. They do what they're supposed to. They beat Mississippi State 31-3. Good performance for them. They're going to have some crucial games to come down. They play Florida this week. That'll be an interesting game. Number 5, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they got another big game this week as well. So we'll see what happens with Ole Miss. We'll be talking about them a little bit later this week. Number 4, we got Oklahoma. Is John Mateer going to play on Saturday? There was some rumblings on some sources that I was seeing on Twitter that were saying that, he might be back for the Red River rivalry game. So we're supposed to talk about Texas-Oklahoma this week. Today. We're just going to do that on Thursday now because we don't know. I don't know the status of John Mateer. So I want to give us a couple days and kind of figure out where that is. And then number 3, Oregon, they're going to welcome in number 9, Indiana. And Oregon, we're going to see how good they are. Right? Penn State, there's a lot of questions with Penn State. They got another chance against Indiana, so we'll see what happens with that game. Number 2, we have Ohio State. Ohio State moved down in our rankings. I know some of us don't like that, but right now, my number 1 team is Miami. So let's talk about 1 and 2 and why I switched it. I switched Miami to number 1 because of resume. They have beat Notre Dame. They have beat Florida State. They have beat USF. Like the way that they're winning these games, if you guys tuned into a Miami game, they look heads and shoulders better than everyone right now. And I know it's too early to get carried away. A lot of injuries could happen and chemistry could be changed. But right now, I think Miami's the best team, and they've been showing that. They just play at a different level than every other team I've been watching so far. The Ohio State defense is really good. I don't want to dispute that. But as a whole, Miami, I'm still trying to figure out what Miami's weakest link is right now because I don't know what it is. I seriously don't know what it is. So with that being said, that is our top 25 TD Sports Press Top 25 Week 7 rankings. Like I said, we go live on TikTok every single day, and we do have a little Q&A as well. So if you have some questions about these rankings, hop on our TikTok at TD Sports Press. We're almost to 14,000 followers there. We're like 150 away. So thanks for everyone that's on there as well. And awesome. So that finishes that segment of the show. With that being said, we are going to move into our game predictions. We got, I think, 6 or 7 games predictions. I did not mean to do that. Never mind. We're going to have 6 to 7 game predictions. We'll be going over tonight. We'll finish the rest. Like I said, really good week last week. We're 52-15 on the football year this year. That is really, really good. We are 52-15, and it's going to get tougher down the stretch. It's going to be a lot easier or harder to do some of these games, but I still have a good feel for them. So we'll see what happens. 52-15, that's really good. So without further ado, number 1, some people might not like where we're starting off with, but we got USF and, oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. Whoa, it's going berserk. We have for us North Texas and USF. They play on a Friday night. That game is at North Texas. ESPN Analytic Predictor gives North Texas a 53% chance to win this game. Like the line right here, you guys can see the line right there. The line is South Florida's a 1.5 point favorite. So how did we get here? USF, they beat Charlotte last week, 54-26. And their only loss they have is Miami, which was 49-12, which is kind of crazy how far Miami beat that team. Then we have North Texas. They beat Western Michigan in overtime, Army in overtime, but they're 5-0 this year. They beat Washington State 59-10, which is kind of unreal if you think about that. Being what Washington State used to be, obviously they're not anymore. But we look at the top performers for both teams. Brown, the quarterback for South Florida, he might be one of the best running backs if he was a running back, but he's a quarterback. 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 92 of 150. Like, what more can you ask for? And not outdoing is Mestamaker for North Texas. He is 106 and 56 and 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. The top rusher for USF is obviously the quarterback. If you want to know how good our USF quarterback is at a dual threat quarterback, go watch his highlights against Boise State. And they both throw the ball around. So how do I see this game going down on a Friday night in Texas? I'm going to take USF to win this game. It has nothing to do with North Texas. I have watched South Florida. I look at North Texas. They kind of struggled with the run against an Army team. I think USF is going to exploit that, especially we're going to probably see some RPOs with the quarterback keeping the ball, and that might give some pressure to UNT. UNT has the home field advantage, in my opinion. Well, it's at home, but they have a quarterback that makes really good decisions. He'll be looking for Coleman as well, 23 receptions for 219 yards. So that's going to be something I keep my eye on as well. But I think South Florida wins this game. I think that they'll keep moving up. But North Texas, they have a real shot to get in that top 25. They're number 29 for me in my rankings right now. So this could be a really interesting game for that. So USF and North Texas is going to be a really fun game. And yeah, tune into a Friday night. This might be the Group of 5 game of the year. So we'll see if it ends up being that, but really, really interested to see what happens with that game. So let's move on. Our next game that we are going to be talking about, we have the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes going to number 17 in the AP poll, not my poll, Illinois. So the ESPN Analytics give Ohio State an 82% chance to win this game. We look at the top performers for Ohio State. Julian Sayin at quarterback. He's thrown for 1,300 yards, 126, 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And we got Luke Adelmeyer. He is 109 and 48 with 12 touchdowns. So that is pretty darn good. No interceptions, but it's kind of surprising, especially with the way they lost to Indiana. But we'll talk about that later. Obviously, in the backfield, you got Jackson. He's run for 360 yards for Ohio State. Valentine has ran for 323 yards for Illinois. We look at the receiving. Obviously, they got Jeremiah Smith, 463 yards, 35 receptions, 6 touchdowns. Absolutely crazy. So we look at both teams. Both teams are 5-0. Interesting stat for you guys. Ohio State has given up 20. Let me count that up. 9, 18, 23 points the entire year. Like, Matt Patricia's defense is insane right now. Like, just what they're putting on the field is crazy right now. Like, 23 points the entire. That's 5 games. So, like, their opponents are averaging like 5 points a game. Maybe my math's a little off. And then we got Illinois, and they had a real bounce back win against USC, and then they beat Purdue. It wasn't great, but they went out and did what they were supposed to. Obviously, they're still a little bit, down after the Indiana loss. They lost 63-10. So how do I see this game at Illinois? This is Illinois' chance, in my opinion. This is their chance to make the college football playoff. There's only so many games on your schedule when you get to play the number 1 team at home. And Illinois has a chance to put a, stamp to the college football playoff. Oh, here you go. Here's your ticket. Here's your ticket, Illinois. Go beat Ohio State and you go to the college football playoff. Give me Ohio State to win this game. 14.5 points is a lot of points. The line opened up at 16.5. You guys can see here. If you're on YouTube, you got the little ticker here. But you look at this, and I like Ohio State. I think Matt Patricia's defense is nasty. Is nasty. One of the best units in the country, if not the best unit. And, Julian's saying this is another opportunity for him to get better. And Ohio State's offense, that's what it's going to come down to. If Illinois is going to pull the upset here, it's going to be because of their, their defense stops Ohio State's offense. They're not going to win this game if it's high scoring. I don't think Illinois can go a high scoring game against Matt Patricia, which I know a lot of people might not like that, but I just think the only way you beat Illinois is by Ohio State's not by thinking you're going to outscore them, because you're not. Ohio State's defense under Matt Patricia is just crazy right now, the metrics that they have. So that's a 14.5-point spread. I don't know about the spread, but I like Ohio State to win the game on the road and take that next step. But for Illinois, this is your pass to get on the train to go to the college football playoffs. You win this game, you're probably going to the college football playoff based off what your schedule is. So we'll see. I'm still going with Ohio State game. That game is going to be fun to watch. So let's move on here. Our next game, I think a lot of people will, especially Alabama fans. We got a lot of Alabama, Missouri fans asking how this game is going to go. We got number 8 Alabama going to number 14 Missouri. Man, this is going to be a fun game. Like I said, Missouri might have a Heisman contender in Hardy. He's already ran for 103 carries and 730 yards. He's almost averaging. He might be averaging, I don't have the stats right in front of me, 100 yards a game on the ground right now. So that is very interesting. If we look at the ESPN analytics, it gives Alabama a 63% chance to win and gives Missouri only a 36% chance. Very opening. The line is at 2.5 for Alabama. It's opened up at a 5.5-point favorite, so a lot of money is coming in on Missouri right now on the spread, so that's been moving now. Very interesting. Look at the top performers. Obviously, the Missouri quarterback, 110. We got Bo, 110 for 145, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And Ty Simpson, who's thrown for 1,400 yards. Like I said, if his name was Ty Manning, everyone would be talking about him. He is 111 out of 158, 13 touchdowns and 1 interception. They have the Miller, the running back for Alabama, the first running back since 2023, I believe, that had over a 100-yard game, so that's good for them. They got Bernard, a really good receiver as well, and Coleman Jr. from Missouri is really good. Both teams Alabama's not unbeaten. They got beat by Florida State week 1. And Missouri's, they're 5-0, but there's a little bit question about the kind of quality of opponent they've been playing. Well, this is their chance for Missouri. This is their chance to go out and kind of like Illinois, give the world a shot at Missouri. Everyone's been saying, Missouri hasn't been playing great opponents. Missouri, they beat South Carolina and Kansas, and they're not even that good. This is their chance. Go beat Alabama. How do I think this game goes? Give me Alabama to go on the road and win. I think Alabama has turned the corner, but I wouldn't be surprised if Missouri wins this. Alabama has a 2-game crazy stretch. They went to Georgia, and then they played Vandy at home, and now they're going to Missouri. So, there's going to be some – we're going to see their depth at Alabama. I think their depth is going to show. But I think Alabama wins this game. I really like the way Alabama has been playing lately. Ty Simpson has been like he should be in the Heisman conversation. But obviously, if Hardy, Alabama's defense has got to stop the run. That's what the whole game is going to come down to: is can Alabama stop the run? And we'll see. Against Florida State, they had struggles with it. They gave up a lot of explosive plays. They can't let that happen. But Missouri, this is, like I said, this is their chance. This is their chance to, tell the world, hey, we're here. We're not here to mess around. So I am super stoked for this game. This is going to tell us a lot about, both teams. So I think Alabama wins this game just based off the recent play. But if Alabama plays like they did against Florida State, Missouri will win by 2 touchdowns. But I think Alabama wins this game. So I'm going to stay with Alabama. So let's keep it rolling here. So, man, we've been having a lot of games back-to-back here for you guys. So we still got a lot of games left here. So, all right, let's move on to our next game. We're going to be talking about USC and Michigan. Michigan will be going to LA to play USC, a team that was in the top 25 until they played Illinois and got beat 34-32 in a classic. That game was a really good football game. This is a 5:30 kickoff on NBC Mountain Time. I am Mountain Time for everyone that's been asking what my time zone is, because it keeps saying, it's a noon kickoff, not a 10 a.m. kickoff. For the Mountain Time is a 10 a.m. kickoff. But it's a 5:30 kick, so 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time. We got number 15 Michigan going to USC. So we look at the line movement on this one. So USC opened up at a 1.5 favorite, and now they're a 2.5 point favorite. Like I said, Michigan's ranked number 15 in the nation, exactly where I have them in the poll. Very interesting. The ESPN analytics gave USC a 70% chance to win this game. Absolutely absurd. But let's look at both teams. You got, obviously, the USC quarterback, Maliava. He's thrown for almost 1,600 yards. Bryce Underwood has thrown for 1,000 yards. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. It's going to come down to whatever team can stop the run. Both running backs have a lot of yards. Very identical teams we've been seeing so far. So how do I see this game going down in California? I just want to take for you guys. It is really hard for a team to go from the East Coast to the West Coast to win and vice versa, West Coast to the East Coast. Give me USC to win this game. I have not been high on Michigan. I know some Michigan fans are not going to like this pick. It is so hard to go from the East Coast to the West Coast. I look how Michigan went to Oklahoma and really struggled. And that was a long road trip for them. They're going to USC. They might be more mature than they were last time. Obviously, it could be the case as well. But I look at this game as a whole. I think this is USC. For Laken Riley, he's kind of playing for his job this year. We had him on the hot seat in our rankings last week. I think that this is a win for USC. I think they learned from the Illinois game. They're going to be ready for Michigan at home. It's not like they're going to Michigan. They should have won this game last year at Michigan. So I think USC matches up really well against Michigan. It's going to come down to what other team can stop the run. And I'm very interested in that. I don't know who's going to stop the run. Maybe maybe this turns into a high-scoring affair. I don't know. But looking at this game, I think this is a great game for USC to kind of get back in the rankings. A lot of people don't have them ranked. I don't have them ranked, but this would be a great opportunity for them. So give me USC to win this game. I think this one's going to go down to the wire, though. Like I said, this slate is amazing. Anyone that's saying that this slate is not as good as it was last week is crazy. So many good games here. So we got 2 more games for us here. We're in the Big 12 for both these games here. We're in the Big 12 here. Moving on, we got number 22, Iowa State going to Colorado. Obviously, Iowa State got beat by Cincinnati last week. Colorado got beat by TCU, and suddenly Coach Prime has 100 injuries. And I hope he gets better. But I don't remember when they were doing good last year him ever mentioning any of these, blood clot conditions. And like I said, it's a serious matter. I'm not trying to say it's not a matter. It's obviously very important. I hope he gets the care that he needs. But it wasn't a factor when they were winning last year. Not suddenly it's now a factor. But we got Colorado that's 2-4, and Iowa State that's 5-1. Iowa State's been dealing with those injuries in the secondary. 2 guys that will probably go to the NFL. I'm surefire that they'll go to the NFL. I'd be shocked if they didn't go in the NFL. Colorado, they're just trying to find something. But let's look at the ESPN analytics here. Nope, I don't want that. ESPN analytics here. ESPN analytics give Iowa State a 63% chance to win this game. But we look at the line. The line is interesting. Iowa State is only a 2.5 point favorite. And I understand you could say, Iowa State, they haven't beat anyone good all year. And that could be true. They're dealing with injuries. I agree. This line opened up at 4.5. It's already down to 2.5, which is kind of crazy to me. Like I said, Colorado's 0-3. But they've been competitive. That's all that matters. So, but I look at this game. I think Iowa State wins this game. I'm not worried about Iowa State going on the road. I think it's a good spot for them, a good gets-back spot. And to play in a hostile environment in Boulder, Coach Prime has built Colorado. I don't want to get that twisted. He has built Colorado. Colorado is a great program, and it's because of him. You look at their attendance from before Coach Prime was there to now, totally different. And that's because of Coach Prime. And he's done a great job. So I'm not trying to bash Colorado or anything like that. So I think this is going to be a gets-back spot for for Iowa State. They're a 2.5 point favorite. I love them there. So let's move on to the last game of the night. And we had to go with the nightcap. It's the nightcap. We have number 20, Arizona State, going to I have it number 25, but they're on the AP poll. Utah. Both programs 4-1. They both have a loss that doesn't make sense the way they lost it. Arizona State, they lost to a Mississippi State team. I don't think a lot of people saw it happening. Utah just got crushed against Texas Tech. You can say whatever you want. We look at the ESPN analytics. They give Utah a 70% chance to win this game. The current line right now is 5.5 points for Utah. And like I said, that kind of surprised me. I thought that Utah would be favored. It's really hard to win in Rice-Eccles Stadium. Fun fact for you, Utah has not yet won a home Big 12 game. Thought that was very interesting. I heard that in Kyle Whittingham's press conference on Monday, so we'll definitely have to keep that in mind. And then you got Arizona State. I saw a clip of Sam Leviett practicing with the wet balls. Coach Dillingham had the water bottle. He was spraying the ball before he threw it. They're expecting some storms there in Salt Lake. This is an 8:15 kickoff. I've been going back and forth with this game. I've honestly been thinking about this game all day. I love the Big 12, and this is another great matchup. Give me Utah to win this game. I think Utah wins at home. I picked them against Texas Tech. I know, but this feels different. I feel like they learned from their mistakes. And Texas Tech's defensive line and offensive line, they control the game. They were more physical than Utah. I don't remember a team being more physical than Utah with a Kyle Whittingham-led team. I don't remember that ever happening. So, very interested with this one. I think Arizona State, they've had 3 tough games in a row. They had to go to Baylor. They had to play TCU at home. And now they get Arizona State. Utah was on Utah State. Sorry, that's my favorite team. Utah, they had a bye week, so they've been kind of preparing. And I think Kyle Whittingham's going to have this team ready to roll. Give me Utah to win this game. So, all right, that's our full show, folks. Well, thanks for everyone that was in here. Like I said, go give us a follow on TikTok. Leave or subscribe to us on YouTube. Really does help us out, helps the page out. And if you guys want to sponsor the channel as well or sponsor this podcast, let me know. My email is linked in my TikTok. If you're listening to Spotify, thank you for listening. If you want to check out our live show, 7 p.m. on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Like I said, Sundays are takeaways. Tuesday, I come out with my own poll and the teams. On Thursday, we finish up our predictions, and our upsets. There's some upsets we'll be talking about. But that's our full show. Thanks for everyone that made it all the way through. If you made it all the way through, type 3 in the comment section. We'll see how many people made it all the way through here. So, with that being said, we'll see you guys on Thursday for the rest of our predictions, and have a great week.